is already an invitation mark accomplishment. Accomplishment. Not because we are better than others, but because God has chosen us. Many are called, but few are chosen. And we can be assured that the fact that we became a priest, it was not simply because of our will. God's will was there, and the will of our bishop was also there through our seminary formators. So kung pumasa tayo doon, nakapasok tayo sa priesthood, it is because the Lord has given much to us. And it is because the Lord also asks a lot from us. No? Maybe in this sense, it's not simply God is inviting us to do much. We could say that God is demanding from us a lot. And demanding, hindi lang invite, pwede pang ganito, kundi sinasabi niya, gawin mo ito, or at least pakigawa nito, na gawin mo ito. The Lord is asking a lot from us because He has given us much. The Lord expects much, God Himself. The church expects much from us. Our bishops expect much from us. God's people, the laity, our family, our friends also expect much from us. They expect much, not in the sense of things that we are incapable of doing. What they expect from us are things that we are capable of doing because of our training, humanly speaking, and because of God's grace that He continues to give us. So what we're doing is not simply our own work, but God's work. Our effectiveness is not only human effectiveness. Kasi kung ating strength lang ako, kawawa din yung timbahan, kasi bali wala tayong magagawa. But with God's grace, ayan, pwede, marami. In spite of our weaknesses, knowing our weaknesses, God expects much from us. God knows that we are weak. Diba, a few years ago, or maybe mga 10 years ago na, medyo nauso yung vessels of clay spirituality. So we are vessels of clay. Sabi ng iba, yung medyo extreme ng palagay ko, hindi naman dapat na extreme, sabi nila, kino-contrast vessels of clay spirituality versus spirituality of holiness. Kasi noon daw, in-emphasize sa ating mga seminaries, you have to be holy as of my heavenly Father is holy, be perfect as my Father in heaven is perfect. Sabi ni Jesus, so na-emphasize daw doon, holiness. Anong tendency pag nag-focus tayo sa holiness? First, hindi natin ma-attain yan. Sino ba naman pwede maging banal, maging santo? Sinong walang faults? Wala. So first, we are given an ideal that cannot be attained. And then, there could be the possibility of despair. Ang napakataas yung ideal, hindi ko naman maabot na hopeless case. Or there could be lack of humility, pride. Kasi akala ko, holy na ako. So, holy ako, banal ako, magaling ako. So, pride could enter. That is why some said, dapat hindi na itong spirituality of holiness. Dapat alisin na yan. Dapat ipasok na natin ang vessels of clay spirituality. Ano itong vessels of clay? We are earthen vessels. We can break. We can fall and be shattered. Okay? So we are weak. We are not capable of doing things, good things, perfectly or in a good way because lagi tayo nagkakasala and so on. I think, and then sabi pa nila, pag vessels of clay, that would lead you not to despair, but to realism, reality. I am weak. I accept that I am weak. So, okay. And that will lead to humility. Because I will not think that I am holy, that then I can attain holiness, or I should attain holiness. Kasi nasa clay naman ako. Okay? So, sabi nila, mas maganda daw yan. Tanggalin na yung spirituality of holiness. Maybe I would say that we have to combine both. Both the quest for holiness, for sanctity here on earth, and knowing the fact that we are earthen vessels. We are earthen vessels. Yes, we are weak. We could easily break. But that is not an excuse not to search for holiness. Why? Because holiness will not come from us as earthen vessels, holiness will come from God. That is why if we are earthen vessels, the more reason we have to turn to God at all times, to ask for His grace, to ask for His strength. We are earthen vessels, but it is the Lord who will strengthen us, not we ourselves. And therefore, we could say that here, this is being much more realistic. This is being much more realistic. We are earthen vessels, yes, but with God's grace, we are strong, and we can be strong, and we should be strong with God's grace. Pope John Paul II, in his encyclical Veritatis Splendor, which is the encyclical dealing with the moral teachings, ethical teachings of the Church, points out that some people have this little question. He says that the demands of Christian life are so intense, forgiving our neighbor not only 7 times, but 70 times 70 or 77. I'm not a biblical expert. 70 times 7 times. Kasi sabi, I read once in a commentary or maybe in a class, sabi, among the Jews, 4 times lang daw, or at least one of the schools of thought, 4 times. Pag naka 4 times na, pwedeng hindi mo na i-forgive. So si St. Peter, confident naman, sabi niya, binasaktan niya yung 4 times. Lord, how many times? 7 times? Hindi na 4 times. So sabi kala niya, yes, 7 times. Hindi, yung sagot, I tell you, not 7 times, but 70 times. 7 times. Tuloy-tuloy. Naku, grabe palang demands ng Christian life. To turn the other cheek. Naku. To walk with Him 1 mile. To give the coat, the tunic, and so on. Grabbing demands ng Christian life. So sabi nagko-question yung iba. And knowing that man is of a fallen nature. We are sinful. We have concupiscence, original sin. Are we able to meet the demands of the gospel message? Kaya ba natin? Kaya ba natin? Ang hirap-hirap, tapos tayo, bagsak pa tayo. Napaka-weak natin. Kaya ba natin yan? Sabi ni John Paul, well, yes, we know that we are weak human beings, and the demands of Christian life are very high, intense, almost unattainable. But, sabi niya, of what man are we talking about? Of what man are we talking about? Are we talking about man who has fallen and man who remains in his weakness? Or are we talking about man who has fallen and is weak but has been elevated by God's grace? Elevated by God's grace. So yes, we are fallen, we are weak, but we are elevated by God's grace. Pasensya na kayo, yung tinuturo ko rin ngayon, I'm teaching grace sa 4th year theologians namin doon sa San Carlos and Holy Apostles, aside from Latin sa 1st year naman. So, ganun sa grace, unlike sa Protestant, ano sabi ni Luther noon, man is simul justus et peccator. Ano maalala natin? Man is simultaneously just and sinful. Sabi niya, actually, kung ito yung tao, so, let's say, sinful yung tao. Okay? But because of Jesus' grace, Jesus' merits, napapaganda yung tao. So dito si Jesus. So that when God looks at him, looks at man, anong nakikita? Hindi yung dumi ng tao. Nakikita niya yung merits ni Jesus. So he is justified, in the sense na anong nakikita pagtingin ng God, kita niya yung merits ni Jesus. So natakpan man. Although, simul peccator, at the same time, sinful siya. Ito yung Protestant concept. On the other hand, sa Catholic concept, man himself, okay, Jesus, because of his